All right, what's going on, guys? My name's Jason Morris. Today I'm going to be talking about the DJI Osmo Pocket and a little bit more of a tutorial on editing. As you might notice behind here, the sound shell, because I'm going to be spinning around talking to you guys while I'm editing, I'm going to need some nice audio back there, and I don't want it to be bouncing off the walls. That's usually behind my camera, so I have a nice sort of deadened sound. So sound is really important, and that's why I've got that. And I want to talk a little bit about what kind of sound I use, sound design in my videos, and I'm going to be talking about the masking trick and speed ramping as well. So let's get into the video. All right, so firstly, I've had a lot of comments in my last couple of videos about that masking transition that I did, and just a little bit more of a breakdown. I mean, I didn't dive into it too much because the video itself was already, what, 11, 12 minutes. It takes about 4 or 5 minutes to explain exactly how to do masking. But in this video, I'm gonna show you guys. But if you do wanna skip through it, the timestamps are right there. Otherwise, watch as much as you can, learn a little bit more, and obviously help out my channel. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so I'm gonna be doing this in Premiere Pro. This is the Creative Cloud version. So we'll just scrub through the footage here and see where we need to mask. So we've got that first footage on the second track and the second footage on the first track. Now we can see exactly where that pole is and where we need to mask. Just gonna make this smaller at 25%. Select that footage there, come over to the left-hand side here. We need to use that mask and definitely keyframe. So select the keyframe. We'll draw a nice little square, like so. Perfect. And now see how the screen's gone black? Because it's on the second track, it thinks the bottom track is what we're doing. There's nothing underneath it. So we'll just invert that over here. So we're just not worrying about the second track yet. Now move it one frame over, then move this mask over to exactly where you need it. Move it over again, move that mask so you can move the front end, and you can also make the back end a lot bigger as well. So moving the mask over frame by frame all the way until you get directly to the end. Okay, so we're down to the last frame here, just moving it across, and you can see there it's completely blacked out the frame, and that's where our second piece of footage is going to go. But firstly, let's zoom in a little bit. Scrub it back over where the pole starts, and that's exactly where our second footage needs to start. So we'll scrub through that, and you can see there it joins into that next clip nicely. But see how there's a nice harsh line here? This is where we need to feather it. So come over to select that top footage again and feather that to your desired opacity. So you can see here it starts to get a bit blurry between those two edges, so it's not a really hard cut line. It's a nice sort of smooth transition between the two clips. And we'll just scrub through that. And you can see there it's a much smoother transition there. All right, so you might have to rewind that video a couple of times just to get a grasp of how to do that masking. I know there's a whole bunch of tutorials out there, but I just wanted to do my own version for you guys. I know this version may not be the same version that you've been seeing or doing, but this is how my workflow works for me. Obviously, you guys might be a little bit different, but I hope you guys learned something from that. Now let's jump into some speed ramping. Now, speed ramping can make videos look so much more dramatic than they actually are. If you just got a normal paced video throughout the whole thing, it can get a little bit boring. Speed ramping can actually help tell the story and sell exactly what you are trying to sell. So in this little clip, I've got the chef throwing up the margarine or fat or butter. Was it butter? I don't actually know. It's like oil or something. He threw it up into the air and essentially it speed ramps sort of up and slows down at the top, and then speed ramps real fast back down. Speed ramping can be great for those sort of things, especially when you're trying to hide transitions, really speed ramping out of a video into the next one. Let's get into this one. Now, let's play through this first clip and I'll show you exactly what the speed ramping looks like. So this is just a clip by itself without any sort of speed ramping. All right, so now we're just gonna move this up a little bit, give us a bit more room. Click on that FX, so right click there and select speed ramp. Then come over to the pen tool. And what you wanna do is try and find the points that you wanna speed down or change the speed. So I'm gonna make it a little bit slower when he catches it. Just increase that and show a little bit more. So when he throws it up into the air, that's when it's going to be fast. And when it spins, free spins in the air, that's when I want to probably slow it down. So I'll chuck a couple of points there. And then I'll probably speed ramp it out into the next one because it's going to be a match cut for this one. So I'm going to adjust this ramp here to roughly 25%. I did shoot in 100 frames per second, so that's 4 times slow motion. So my timeline is 25 frames per second. So if I slow it down 4 times, that's at 25%. Be nice and slow and smooth slow motion. You can see there. So I've slowed both those clips down to 25%. Now I'm going to ramp these up by double. Ramp the middle one up by double, so up to 200%. So it's a little bit faster. There you go. So you can see there, it makes a big effect. I'll even speed it up at the last clip by twice as well, and that will easily transition into my next clip as well. What you can also do is you can actually change do a little bit of a ramp inside the speed ramps. So I'll come over to this one here. We'll just move this up a little bit so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. You can move these points apart and create a little bit more of a gradual ramp rather than 2 hard points. So grab this little thing here and you can see how it's a bit of an S curve. It just makes it more of a smooth transition. You might not necessarily notice it as much in this clip, but some clips you do tend to notice it rather than going from regular speed down to 25. It's just a bit of a smoother transition. So that's the basics of the speed ramping. Now, sound design is one of the most important ones. Now, I use sound with Epidemic Sound. I am affiliated with Epidemic Sound, so if you do, the link in the description below, click on there, you get a free trial. It helps my channel out a lot. But the biggest thing that I found with Epidemic Sound is not just downloading the MP3 format of that song, it's downloading all the stems. There's about 4 or 5 different tracks that you can actually get, a few different tones. So you've got this one right now, plus this one, or this one. And then you can obviously put them all together and then you've got that full MP3 format that you've actually got. So it's really good to break things up, as you'll see in this video right now. All right, I'll show you guys exactly what I mean. All right, so hopping back into Adobe Premiere Pro, and I've just dropped this sound clip into my timeline, and then I'll just drag it over, pop it under, and we'll see what it sounds like. Okay, now I've dragged this bass track underneath and cut out the main part, and this is what it sounds like. So in this video, there is a whole bunch of meat sizzling, and now I need to find a sizzling sound. So I went into Epidemic Sound and found raindrops, which sounds very similar to sizzling meat. Now I have to adjust the levels over here. As you can see, I'm keyframing the levels, dropping down the levels of the audio when it's not in the frame, and then bringing it back up when it is in frame. and this is what it sounds like. So now I'm going to add a whole bunch of whooshing sounds to master transitions together. So all you need to do is go through the clip and just make sure you line up the whooshing sounds directly where you want the transitions to be, or the sound design to obviously sit in your footage. So now that all of this is together, let's have a listen to what it sounds like. So that is it from me, guys. I hope you found this extremely useful. If you did, hit that like button. That would be much appreciated. Comment below if you have any questions on those things. I've tried to explain it as best as I can. I'm not the best when it comes to editing. I'm more of a cinematographer, the shooting style. But I'm just trying to show you exactly how my workflow works when using the DJI Osmo Pocket footage. Also, you can apply this to any other camera. Obviously, this isn't just for the DJI Osmo Pocket. But you know, the thing is, I've had a lot of DJI Osmo Pocket users asking these questions, and I'm just trying to break it down for you guys, and obviously to help you guys shoot much better videos. So that's it from me. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment below. My name's Jason Morris, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, let's get it.